Zarda. I think this was such a gorgeous piece following a family and really getting to dive deep into a family dynamic. No two families are the same. And this particular family had really interesting relationships that would kind of bounce off one another, comparisons between one sister to another. And I thought the image of the pigeons trapped in the cage was a lovely analogy for what the daughters were experiencing in their life and in their experience of being a woman in their culture. Thought it was really great storytelling, honest. It took its time without dragging. And I thought that it was really beautifully shot too, with great little intimate moments, but also letting us observe as the outsider in the home.
This film is called Zarda. This is an intimate family short. I love the pace in this one. We follow the day-to-day life of a Middle Eastern girl and her family. The footage of her home, the streets, and the hair salon give a real bird's eye view of her life. The whole cast is extremely believable, so subtle. The writing is also really well done, as the lead is learning to assert her independence and show her love for fashion. I like the fact that we don't know if she got her hair colored or not by the end. Great job. Zarda, check it out.
Zarda. Zarda is a very meaningful film. We follow Shella, whose main issue in the main goal she has in the movie. She has to decide how to dye her hair, which kind of color use. But this I like the symbolism in that, and the meaning behind this. In a place like Europe or America, that wouldn't be a problem. Like, oh, you're gonna dye your hair, fantastic, just do whatever you want, blah blah blah. But where the movie set is actually an issue for the main character. We see she wants to dye her hair to show the new color, but then she has to keep the hair cover every time she's within society, or even if friends are over at the house. And we can see the struggle of the main character, getting towards the end, where she really wants to dye her hair, but then she realizes that she's basically 95% of the time she can't show the hair to anyone because she has to cover it. It's a strong movie, and is very very actual with all the issues going on in the war, especially in Iran at the moment. So I think it was a very powerful tale, and is gonna definitely show a big light on a social issue that is still unfortunately still very powerful now in 2022. It was a very very well done film. Congratulations.
Zarda. Okay, I liked the theme addressed in the film, namely sort of child marriage, or the themes rather, child marriage, the pressures of getting married in a specific culture, and how closely tied a marriage is to status and duty. And just also a disclaimer, there isn't anything wrong with marriage, and this is not to infringe on any culture, but I did like how this film addresses those, or the depths of those sort of issues, or what kind of comes with those sort of issues, with rushing into those kind of things in a sort of a lighter way rather. I liked the main character. She seemed like a girl who had a curious mind. I also liked how certain themes that are quite sensitive were addressed in a light way through her. So using her as the sort of cushion for the audience to be able to understand and interpret what is going on without being so intrusive. And that was achieved by the main character through her sort of childlike curiosity and how she's presented. So I really enjoyed how these sort of themes were addressed in the film. Yeah.
So I just finished watching Zarda. I really love this film. I thought it was so endearing and just really fun to watch. There's so much to say about this film. I just loved the coming of age, sort of sweet and sentimental vibe that the film has. You know, I love the character and just following her along as she goes. The emotional beats and the storytelling I thought worked really great. You really feel each moment and you feel each beat of the story. I just thought the storytelling was so strong in this film. You know, it's character based, it's relatable, It's somewhat minimalist. Yeah, I had a great time watching this movie, and I think the filmmakers did a great job.
All right, I just finished watching Zarda, which I thought was a very strong piece. I generally do enjoy sort of intimate, grounded family dramas like this, especially when it's playing out within a culture that I'm not that familiar. I thought that this piece did a great job as sort of creating a scope of the family and the young woman and her sort of coming of age journey and trying to navigate her identity and her fashion and how she looks. And I thought it had a really sort of quiet and understated approach that made the entire piece very endearing. I thought that it was very well acted. There was a great sense of cinematography that gave you a very grounded sort of point of view that allowed you to become immersed in the environment and the community. And I thought that the pacing really helped create an immersive experience that really contributed to the big picture themes of the piece they was trying to explore in terms of finding yourself and your identity and sort of navigating in a cultural environment that might not be as conducive to you expressing yourself as you want. So I thought it was a well done piece, very well acted by the lead in particular, and it was an idea that I definitely did enjoy and thought was well constructed overall.
Zarda uses very documentary-esque techniques to evoke a real sense of place and culture that's very engaging. But it's also important, I think, because we get a sense of by getting a sense of the world that these characters inhabit, it makes us invest in their struggles and we understand the meaning of those struggles more. So that helps us really care about them. I think the struggle for freedom and like self-determination comes across really strongly. You can't help but feel moved by that plot. Everyone wants freedom. I think they explore these themes. They're explored with nuance, like having intergenerational conflict exist between these women regarding the freedoms and sort of place in society of women and freedoms one's afforded but the other isn't. But then when sort of men come in and threaten those freedoms, these women across the generations back each other up, which I thought that was really moving. That was really cool. And I thought the setting in hairdressers and dealing with cosmetic aspects of sort of feminine appearance was a really interesting and subtle way to explore perceptions of and thoughts on relationships to women in society. So I thought that worked really well. And then you also have the recurring motif of birds in cages, which obviously perfectly sums up that feeling of being imprisoned and trying to get out. So there's layers upon layers, and I think it's just really, really neat little film.